Shiny bald spots.
Hi everybody, Ryan was literally just saying shiny
bald spots on my head from the chandelier.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty exciting.
Hi guys.
It's past our bedtime.
So
that's
it is
why.
past our bedtimes. I have bags under my eyes. This isn't the
9:20.
best lighting. We're literally in a hotel lobby. People are probably going to be staring at us, but we did not want to miss this
Hey,
opportunity
Connie.
to hop on here live because this is such a good topic. We are in Miami at a John Maxwell event that we got invited to that's partnering with a ministry.
Hey, Ann Elizabeth.
Hi, Ann. And so what happened was we were going to go live last night. We were here. It didn't work out. So we're just
In a dark room. We're in a dark room.
Yeah, we're just going to do this. And you
We're
might
gonna
see me
do
glance
it.
down. All right. So how many of you saw that
Hey,
title?
Carla May.
Hi, guys. You saw that title and you were like,
Do you want me to do that?
am I a nag? What?
To say that I interrupt you to people?
No.
Okay. Hey, Jennifer. See how we communicated? Open lines of communication.
Yeah.
You guys are getting the real deal.
Real deal here, people. So welcome. Those of you that maybe don't know us, my name's Blair. This is...
I'm Ryan.
And we're so excited to have you guys in Marriage Movement. We have so many new people that have just joined us in here.
You can come be live with us if you want.
So many new people in
All right,
Marriage Movement.
hold on.
Hey, are you
We
married,
got-
Tim?
I am, but my wife's not here.
That's okay.
Tim Slater, all the way from
They're from Jacksonville.
Woo-hoo!
These guys are awesome.
How good was John Maxwell?
Unbelievable. Can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be even
Tomorrow's
better.
gonna be awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I know we have lots of new members, like 80 something this week. So shout out to all of you that are new, and we want to make sure you guys know us. But you guys are gonna love this topic tonight because it's all about stop being a
Nag.
not
No
a
one
nag,
likes a nag.
a nag.
I said nag.
I know.
N-A-G.
Hi, Danelle.
Hey, Danelle.
Oh my goodness. Listen. No judging tonight, people, because we literally have our notes in front of us
Yes.
because we just came back from the John Maxwell event and the lighting in our room is bad and we had
We're
to go
just doing it
somewhere else,
anyway.
and we're doing it anyways, people.
Right. No,
All right.
No paralysis by analysis.
So here's what I want you to do before we even start this
Hey.
tonight. Think and be honest with yourself. Are you a nag? Are you a nag in your marriage? Are you a nag to your friends? Are you a nag to your kids? Are you a nag to people that you work with? Just stop for a second and be honest with yourself. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Be honest with yourself.
With yourself,
I
right?
agree 100%.
Are you a nag?
No, Danelle, thank you. I totally did not wear
Ryan
sunscreen.
okay, yeah, we'll take a pause really quick on the non-nagging. I did not nag Ryan about wearing sunscreen, and look what happened, okay? I'm just going to say that. But
terrible.
he did play with John Maxwell today, which was legendary, right? That he got to pick
And
off
what
with
did
John
Mr. Maxwell say about my golf game?
That
I'm
it's
outstanding,
amazing.
yes.
Outstanding.
Yes, that's-
that he is in love with my husband.
And do I ever work? Because
Right.
I play really good golf. So I'm not sure if that was a plus or a minus.
That was hilarious, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I read an amazing article this last week all about being a nag. It was on marriagetoday.com. I'm going to give a huge shout out to that because it was an awesome article and it just reminded me of 5 important things that kind of go along with figuring out if you're a nag. And let's find like a healthier way to be instead of being a nag, right? Legends don't need sunscreen. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to be a nag and say that's not true.
True.
Hi, Ivy. All right. All right, listen. Here's the deal. Think about it.
Tell me.
Do you nag? Okay.
Sometimes.
Are you passive aggressive? Why don't
Yes.
you talk about that?
So
What does passive aggressive mean?
passive aggressive is when you make snide comments about a way you'd like for things to be done, and you're really just kind of complaining about it. I can't think of an example because my brain is fried, but you could probably give one.
Yes.
She
So-
had like 3 or 4 lined
Uh-huh,
up examples of passive aggressive. Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay,
baby.
so
Let's
here
do it.
is what passive aggressive, a great example would be like, do you ask somebody to do something like huff and puff? Or when something's not going your way, do you kind of like stomp around or play the silent game with somebody until they figure out what it is that you're upset about, right? And I think that's just a natural way that a lot of us have been trained in our life. Maybe we saw that as an example of our parents, right? Like your mom didn't get her way, and so she would play the silent treatment in the house until everybody figured out why she was upset. Or, you know, maybe your dad would be passive aggressive. Instead of talking about his feelings, all of a sudden he would explode on the family and you didn't really even know why, but really it was a buildup of things that have been going on for months.
Small things stacking up.
Totally. So tonight we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, instead of nagging or using passive-aggressive behavior.
Yes.
We're going to talk about how to communicate with 5 ways to learn to communicate better without nagging. How many of you guys would love to learn those 5 tips for not nagging others?
I want to know.
Right? Because it will help you in your marriage for sure.
Definitely.
But it will also help you, those of you that are parents,
Yeah.
it will help you teach the correct way of communication that would open up lines for your kids to learn and then be better wives or husbands in the future, better employees or employers. I love that Ryan just raised his hand because I used to teach kindergarten and that is
Yes.
so sexy. Thank
Yeah,
you.
raise my hand, people.
I
Raise
love
my
it.
hand. Guess what? It helps you, if you are in network marketing, it definitely helps you with your team. The words that you use and how you talk to people on your team when you're training them with them, interacting with them, it makes such a huge difference. When I hear, what?
I'm laughing at what Susie said, sorry.
Oh, when I hear Blair in her office talking to her teammates or new promoters or new clients, it's amazing how encouraging her words are and how I can tell that your vocabulary, you're constantly, working on that, how you're speaking to people.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Yeah,
That was
you're
really nice.
welcome.
All right, so
That
here's
is
tip.
not nagging.
That is not. All right, so here is tip number 1. Use a normal voice. Yeah, you probably have a nagging voice.
What about a Facebook Live voice?
Yeah, we have Facebook Live voices.
According to our
say.
kids.
Yeah, but you probably have a nagging voice. So what we mean by that is maybe your tone goes up or it goes down or it gets a little slower, or like Ryan used to say to me when we first got married and I was
Uh-oh.
teaching, used to be like, don't use your teacher voice on me.
Oh,
I'm not
teacher
one of your
voice.
students,
Yes.
right? So you probably have one of those kind of voices. And if you're like, I don't know, I probably don't. I'm going to challenge you. Go ask your spouse.
Yes, ask your spouse
But be
or
ready
those
for what they
closest
say.
to you. Yes, you have to listen. Be willing to listen to the answer for sure.
Yep. So
Not 100%
if you're
sure.
willing to do this, then be open to the feedback that the person that you ask tells
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to encourage you to do it with your spouse, but if you're not willing to do that, maybe ask somebody in your team if you're in business or anything like that, or ask a family member. But ask, like, do I have a different voice when you feel like I'm nagging you or getting on to you about something? Ask your teenagers. If you have teenagers, they'll definitely tell you, right? Susie said, lately, Brent and I find ourselves saying,
gosh.
how would Blair and Ryan respond?
That is a lot of pressure.
That's
but I love it.
hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
That's really funny,
That
Susie.
is
I love
funny.
you.
Love
All right.
it. Love it. How
So-
would we respond?
So first one is figure
Breathe.
out, do you have a nagging / passive aggressive voice?
Okay.
Okay. And if you don't know it, then do what? Ask.
Oh, ask.
Right? Okay. All right. Step number. We're also sweating. So if you see me do this, I'm literally wiping the sweat off my brow because for some weird reason, this lobby is like 100 degrees. Okay. But my room is like 60 degrees. So I don't know what's going on. Okay. Step number 2. If you're a note taker like Blair,
Yes.
do not redo it.
Don't we do what?
So, if you ask your spouse to do something, do not redo it. Do not try to tell them exactly how it should be done, right? And don't tell them what they did wrong. So,
Yes.
I'm going to give an example and then you chime in, okay?
Okay.
So,
This is going to be really
how
good.
many
I
of
can
you
already
guys have
tell.
different ways that you fold your towels
Oh,
based on where you
yeah.
put the towel? Right? So this might sound crazy to some of you, and some of you are gonna be like, Blair, I get you, girl. So if it's going outside with the pool towels, they get rolled. If it's going in the hallway closet and it's an extra pool towel, it gets rolled. If it's going into our bedroom or into our bedroom bathroom, then it gets folded in 3/4, right? So like there's
Question.
different ways to do this.
How do you know where the towel is going?
Well,
They all look the same. And sometimes the gray towels with the ribs we use for shower towels. And sometimes they're in the closet. And then other times they're rolled up, put outside.
right. Okay. Well, there
I'm
is
telling
a way that
people,
you can
there is
tell.
no method to the madness.
But to Ryan, he can't tell. So
I
here's
cannot
my
tell.
choice. Do I want to have him help me out with these things? Or do I want to bother him? Thank you, Ann. Or do I want to bother him to death where he's not going to do it anymore or he's going to be annoyed and frustrated at me instead of me just saying simply, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like that
for
answer.
taking time to fold the laundry
Yes.
today. Thank
Yes.
you for taking that. Angela, thank you. Thank you for doing something to make my load lighter today, right?
Yes,
Another
absolutely.
example would be, I'm going to give a guy example. Like, why don't you give a guy example?
I don't have one. My mind is blank.
Okay, so let's
I'm a blank
say,
slate.
I'm going to give an example from childhood. My dad used to, when my brother went away to college, I was then responsible for mowing the grass and weeding the edges, right? He taught me once, and then I kid you not, probably every single time I went out there, he like had to reteach me. He was like, no, I want it done this way, and then
I
this
can
way,
totally
and this
see your
way,
dad doing
right?
that too.
But
Oh,
what
yeah.
did that do? That made me not want to do it. And I was like, I don't even want to do this and help out and do this for you because you're going to reteach me every single time. You want it done your way, do it yourself, right?
That is a great line right there.
What, do it, you want it done your way, do it yourself?
Yes.
Right. So if you want help around the house and you want your spouse to help out and you want it to be an equal partnership in the home, helping each other out with things, then you can't tell them how to do it your way every single time. Because guess what? Your way is not the only way. Another great example is the toilet paper. How many of you like the toilet paper go over?
Stop.
under?
There is only one way
Okay.
to do the toilet paper. It goes on top. Ask Oprah.
Okay. But if somebody puts a toilet paper roll on and it's going the wrong way,
You turn it around.
You could simply
You just
turn it
turn it around.
yourself and be
That's it.
thankful that somebody put the toilet paper roll on instead of just putting it on top.
What if someone does a toilet paper tower?
Oh, how many of you guys saw Ryan's toilet paper tower? Right? So what did I do when I walked to the bathroom and I saw his toilet paper tower? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I said, Ryan, can you figure out how to get all these into our bathroom?
There are
It's like
12
a
rolls.
Big, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a pack.
12 rolls.
And I didn't want it in the garage. So I go, can you figure out a way to get all this into our
Put
bathroom?
these in our bathrooms, please.
Yes, that's what
Yeah,
I said.
yeah.
So I walk into the bathroom. Literally, he made a tower, like a pyramid shape, with all the toilet papers behind the toilet, like on the back of the toilet. I walked in.
It was amazing.
And all I could do was laugh. And
It
then
was
I
amazing.
put them back where I actually wanted them to go and took a picture and posted it on Facebook, of course.
Yes.
But the point is that he did what I asked him to do, right? And I should have been
did
more
do it.
specific in the moment and say, can you find a place underneath the bathroom sink
Yeah.
for the toilet paper? But it was just honestly funny. I could have taken that moment and been a nag. In the past, I would have. I would have been super annoyed and probably blown up at him. But now I've learned that I'm thankful he even helps out.
It's not worth it.
Right. Okay.
It's not worth it.
So that's hilarious. Okay, so that was number two. Number
Number two.
three is do not demand time. Instead, ask for one. So what I mean by this is if you're asking your spouse to do something, instead of demanding that it be done just right now in this instant, right? Instead, ask for when they can do it. I love this approach because our friends Becky and Tim Farrant.
Past her bedtime.
Yep.
I told
And
you.
they called it the fairy tale approach. Like when you get married and you think that like your spouse is supposed to know everything you magically are thinking, right? Instead of asking. And sometimes we get very passive aggressive when we say things like, hey, can you take out the trash? And it doesn't happen immediately. So instead of talking it through, you grab the trash, throw it over your back, go outside huffing and puffing, throw it in the trash can, come back in and slam the door.
Why couldn't you just take out the trash?
Right? Instead of saying, hey, Ryan, can you take out the trash? And then he could respond back and say, yes, but I'm in the middle of watching this show with Jeremiah. When we're done, we'll take it out.
Oh, yes. That's
Okay?
a good one.
Or if he didn't give me that response and he said, sure, I could then ask, hey, Ryan, when do you think you'll be able to get to that? But I have to be willing to accept whatever time frame he gives me.
Yes.
Do you want to chime in on that?
I just would like to say that I have no idea what to say.
Ryan is...
It's
This is
past
not
my
Ryan's
it's
best
past my
life.
bedtime.
All right, I'll
It's
just keep
past
this
my
going.
bed.
Okay.
You're doing a great
Okay.
job.
So,
Oh, wait. I would like. Sometimes it's okay to remind me like that.
Right.
That wasn't nagging me to say something because sometimes it takes a little while for me, or I might forget, get distracted. If any of you get distracted, like I really do want to take the trash out for Blair, but I might have forgotten. So she's very good about giving me a gentle reminder rather than coming in. I told you to take the trash out. Why didn't you do it? You don't do anything around this house. I do everything myself. Are you kidding me?
have I done that before?
Never.
Oh, sounds kind of like my tone.
Oh.
Okay.
That's your beast mode tone.
I know.
But it's okay.
And I also,
Was that
you know,
good?
this is, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's also a really great approach for when there's a problem that you want to discuss. So tonight, yes, we're talking about nagging and we're talking about getting things done. But the reality is that sometimes you have a communication, something that needs to be addressed, something that needs to be talked
A
through.
big
And you
thing.
can't expect the other person to be able to talk about it right away. Everybody processes information differently. And so one of the best things you can learn in communication is asking when that can be done or when that can be discussed. So me saying, hey, Ryan, I have something really important that I need to talk to you about XYZ. I would really like to talk about it in the next 24 hours. Let me know when you're free to discuss it because
And-
he needs to think it through first.
I totally need to think it through, but then it's my responsibility if Blair is willing to ask me, hey Jim,
Hi, Jen.
if Blair is willing to ask me for a time, then it's my responsibility to give her time. I can't say, oh, let's talk about it, 4 days from now. That wouldn't be fair to either of us. But Blair if we have a disagreement or we have something that we want to talk about, and she just comes in and rapid fires at me, like I'm shutting down. That's it, closed. I don't hear anything.
How many of you are the ones that would shut down and how many of you are the ones that would rapid fire? I'm super curious in this group, so let us know because I am a rapid fire. I like to deal with
It's
issues
like a
immediately
machine
when they
gun.
come up. I like to get it taken care of because I don't want it to hinder, I don't want it to be in my mind anymore. So I want it done. And actually one time a psychologist told me that's called backing it into the corner. So it's me trying to back somebody else into the corner because I want to talk about it right away when that person needs time to process and think it through.
Yes.
So I'm curious what you guys are. So drop it below. It'll be super cool to hear. Yep, Pamela says she shuts down.
Yep,
And
I
Elizabeth,
shut down.
you're a rapid fire.
There you go.
We're on the same page, girl. All right.
There we go.
So fourth tip that I can give you is that nagging sometimes come in the form of body language.
Yes.
So you might not be using your words to be a nag, but you could be using your body language to be
Physiology
a nag. Yep. Can you give some examples?
of
Using
Doing
body
what?
language. So like huffing and puffing through the house or like, being very cold shoulder to somebody. Using your body language in different ways that would show nagging.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have to give examples. If you've been together with your spouse for any length of time, you can tell what kind of mood they're in by the way they walk, by the way they breathe, by the way they sit on the couch, the chair, their arms folded. I mean, it is quite evident and very clear when you're getting the cold shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, it can be that. It can even be stomping around. It could be slamming doors. It could be the way that they
Yes.
hold their body. Absolutely.
The stare down, diverted eyes. I can tell when,
Cold look.
like just ignoring what they're saying, right? You can tell when somebody's listening to you. Totally. So you should recap. There's a lot of new people, so why don't you give the 3 tips
Yes.
on next, real
okay,
quick.
awesome.
Here we go.
So so
This
what
is
we're talking
mainly
about
for
tonight
me.
is
Yes.
the 5 ways to communicate instead of nagging. So
Number
the first
one.
one was, do you have a nagging voice? So you got to figure out what is your nagging voice. If you don't know what it is, ask your spouse. Believe me, they know.
Everyone has one.
The second one is do not redo it. If you ask somebody to do something, don't redo what they did. This works in business as well, guys. It's really important,
Yes.
and especially with your children.
Yes.
Not that your spouse is a child, but it also works with that. All right, and the third one is the third one is do not demand time. Instead, ask for one. Like, when are they
Yes.
able to get that done? When can they do that? When can you mow the grass this weekend? I'm just curious, when that's going to be able to get done so I can plan on it. Those kind of things, right?
Yep.
Number 4, nagging can also be a form of body language. And our last one, but
4.
not least, number 5, is past attempts and failures do not count. Do not
This is
bring
a
up the
huge
past.
one. Listen, you cannot keep a record of all of the wrongs and expect to get anywhere in your relationship, okay? If it's addressed, you communicate about it, you get all of the dirty laundry out there, you get whatever the disagreement is or anything, then boom, once it's over, that's gone. Move on. If you're gonna stack things, I believe it's called stacking. If
Yeah.
you're gonna stack things and use words like always, you
Never.
never
Oh my
do
gosh,
this,
that's so funny to hear this.
you're always doing this, your relationship is headed for a very, very dangerous place.
Yeah, absolutely.
No keeping score. I
That's
like it.
right.
Let it go.
Yep, because listen,
Like Elsa.
let
it go. Let it go.
Is that Elsa? Yeah, I don't know.
I
We
think
have
her
boys.
name's Elsa in
Yeah.
Frozen.
Oh, I was thinking Ursula from Little Mermaid.
Oh my
It's wrong.
goodness. No, it's
Yeah, you're
Elsa
right.
from
No, you're
Frozen.
right. Okay, so really quick, I'm curious, you guys, drop below, which one do you need to work on the most? Is it the first one, which is your voice, your nagging voice?
Thank you,
Need to work on
Angela,
that?
for the notes.
Oh, I love people who take
You're
notes.
the
You are a girl
best.
after my heart, Angela.
Nagging.
Or do you need to work on your not redoing it, not taking over and trying to be in control, right?
Yeah.
Or do you need to work on not demanding a time, right? Not demanding a time, but instead asking for a time.
And the second part to that is if your spouse is kind enough and responsible enough to ask for a time, then it is your duty. So if Blair asks me, hey, can you take the trash out? Or do you mind doing the dishes? And I say, well, Blair, can I finish this show real quick with Jeremiah, who's our 15-year-old, right? Blair would say, yes, that's fine. If that show is 2 hours long and Blair comes out of the office and it's still not done, then that's not fair of me, right? I have to complete it in the time that I agree to.
Totally. And then, or do you need to work on nagging in your body language form, like making
physiology?
Sure that, yep, absolutely. Yeah. Or do you need to work on not bringing up past attempts and making, keeping that list, or what did you call it?
Stacking.
Not stacking. I like
stacking.
That one. That was really good.
Always and never.
I love it when you guys are honest too, and you're like, this is like, Kara's like, I need to work on number 1.
Yes, Jenna,
that's where you'll see growth in your relationships, is when you take ownership and you need to change those things. So I have worked on each of these at different moments in time, because I know that I see things from my past experiences, the way I was raised, the way that I was taught things. We all have. So it's so important to go back and learn these. We have a winner from today as well. We had a little contest on Marriage Movement, if you guys saw it.
Are we
and
there
I texted
yet?
Ryan who our winner is. Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
Drum roll.
See.
Hey, if you guys have any questions, throw them at us while you're on there. We can see them in the comments. Angela Keltenborn.
Angela Kaltenborn, you earned 2 tumblers, Marriage Movement tumblers.
Great
We're
job,
so excited
Angela.
to get those to you. So don't forget to send me a quick private message with your address, and we'll get those in the mail for you this week. Thanks to all of you who did today shout out what you're loving about the 21-day challenge.
Yes.
Make sure, I know today was a little harder. Some of you guys were not commenting in there, and I get it. It was a little bit harder, but it was really about, stopping and thinking, who are those people that have helped you along the way in your marriage? And if you didn't have anybody, some of you said, I haven't had one person encourage me my whole life. We didn't have a good example growing up. I haven't had anybody encourage you. I want to say this. Our mastermind's coming. We already have some amazing people in it. Those of you that are already going to be in it, we're so excited for you. That's the group. That's where you'll find those people, because you need those people to encourage, lift you up. We're here for the next day and a half with some amazing people that are lifting us up. It's always important to be around those that help you grow.
Let us be the first to encourage you and let you know that there are other couples out there, that it's normal to have struggles in certain areas. It is okay. It's better when you voice it, when you communicate it, and you get around other like-minded couples. The reason why this movement is so successful is because everybody wants the same thing. We all want to be better together. And just reading these things, these comments as they're scrolling, that's great. And, she thanked her mom and son who both helped you. We just want to take your mind off of anything that was negative and in the past and gear it towards communicating with each other and going forward towards the future. So the saying that I'm using is pain from the past as power for the future.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it.
And we know that you guys are better
together.
Night.
Stephanie, catch up. All
yep,
right, good to see you.
I can't hit the button.
We got 15 comments. Sure you want to stay on? What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Bye, guys.